Neelakantanji, do you want to say something?
Namaste ji.
Namaskar.
Yeah.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षि रूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहम् सनातनः सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेव अहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षि रूपोऽहम् I am the witness of all pairs of opposites. Achaloham sanatana. I am immovable and I am eternal. Sarvasakshi swarupoham. I am the witness of everything. Ahameva ahamavyaya. I am the very self, indestructible and changeless.
Anyone has any questions or anything to ask or report?
Namaste, Sanjay.
Hello, namaste. Vijayji.
Namaste, Sanjay. I have a question, please.
Yeah. Yes.
So I want to understand more clearly when it is said that everything is predestined, or that it is truly all scripted, So if you can please speak to that.
What do you want to know about it?
As in, like my mind is having that doubt, and as a result, there is self-doubt, etc. So I want to be sure that it is exactly as such. It's coming as a blind faith now, that it is all predestined, and this is how it is meant to be, and that is what I tell myself. I just want a deep conviction with that understanding.
And this is the reason why this is said like this, to silence the mind. There's no other purpose of it. Understand that this word, what you are seeing, the way you are seeing things, the way they are happening, is because of this ego, because of this doership, because of this one who thinks and believes that he can achieve, he can do, and he is actually doing, and he is creating. And then someone comes and says that everything is predestined. Then who will be in a shock? Only ego. Because ego is this sense of doership which takes credit of destiny and doing things and changing. It's a big shock to it. If someone says everything is predestined, then there's nothing to do. Then where this doer will go? This is the biggest challenge. This statement is the biggest challenge to doership. Who will accept this as it is? Only the mind which has surrendered. But the mind which has not surrendered, doesn't want to surrender, doesn't know what surrender means, will always challenge this. Otherwise, there is no use of this statement, I'll tell you honestly. Whether things happens on their own or whether you do it, how does it matter? But for your liberation, this statement is useful. Otherwise, it has no role. You can keep doing what you are doing and you can keep creating castles and whatever. And you can be proud of your achievements, or even sorrow to the failures. But then who is in the trap? Only the one who thinks he can do. Because doership stays, ego stays, word stays, its unending dream stays. This can be accepted not by any force. This cannot be accepted as a blind faith. This can only be understood. And the doership is being given away by a mind which is melting down in that seeing. And the mind which has not seen anything until now can never accept this. Only mind which can accept this, which has some opening, some darshan, only that can accept it. So people even used to come to Bhagavan, listening to this, they used to walk away or used to argue. But a normal course is unsettled mind with ego will not accept it. But when it does some sadhana, some practice, at least it will understand how much compassion is in this statement. Forget whether it is true or not. That's not even a matter. Accepting it helps in your own liberation, nothing else. It is not benefiting anyone else except you. You know, otherwise, this doership never ends. Because tell me, what is free will? What ego can do, is it free will? It is that cage. It is the bondage in which the ego thinks I am doing, I am the doer, and I can achieve and I can change. And this I is the bondage. To an extent that this body is not sufficient for this bondage. You get another jail and then another jail. Never ending bondage. Just because of one thing, that I am something. When this I am something knows I am nothing, then there is liberation. And I am nothing cannot happen until this I am thinks he is something and can do something.
So if I may, this is making me quite passive in life. And in this passivity, not to go into any personal story, but I'm going through quite a bit of health stuff and find myself in the middle of a legal battle where the full fortune of my family is at stake, and that is what it has come to because of my father's health. Since 2 years, it has been very, very poor since he had his first COVID, and it was a 180-degree shift. And since then, I find myself in this legal battle and with deadlines and pushing me to do stuff, board meeting, and it's a lot of manipulation and stuff. So I just keep it at the side and I say, let it be, it will be taken care, and so on. And then I oscillate between being at this peace and being gripped with the mind attack, with fear and anxiety. And I oscillate here, sitting in my true self and praying, observing, and then every now and then, and it usually happens when I suddenly wake up in the middle of the night at 3-4 o'clock with a barrage of thoughts and a huge mind attack, and it's all fear and anxiety. I should be doing more. I mean, how can I let this happen, etc., and all that. So this is not my creation, and it is, as you say, scripted, and this is where I find myself. So I've left everything. I left my corporate job. I moved back to India, and I have been with this since 2016 in this journey. So that's why I wanted to, not understanding the approach and action.
So whatever you are telling, it's all personal story. Where there is any pure presence here,
your presence is not spoken about. That is what I sit with. I mean, it is not something I don't know what to share about that, but I am at a lot of peace when I'm there, and but then nothing is happening is what I feel. And then when that comes back, then so that is why this oscillation is happening.
oscillation is also ego. When there is no mind, then the mind says, look, it is peace. Actual test of pure presence is when you don't feel there is anything at stake. It is all personal. My father, my health, my property, my situation, my family. I go, I come, I go into situation, I get attacks. Understand that who is there, who is letting it go and then trying to control things. It is the same. It takes different forms in its own way. Everything surrounds only this ego. There is no surrender here. It pretends to surrendering and then goes back again that I have to do something. It only pretends that I am surrendering for a while. And then it says, I have to take control. What will you gain? What will you lose? Whose story it is? Whose body is suffering? Which body is suffering? Which mind attack to whom? Mind cannot attack what actually in reality you are. Mind even has no clue to the one which is mind can only attack, can only involve, the one who owns this mind or who thinks he owns this mind. This sansar, this whole world, this whole thing, the body and everything around you, everything comes only from that ownership. The moment that ownership goes away, this I thought, that my life, my money, my family, my this. If you really sit even for a fraction of a second with that pure I, which is only that isness, which has no claim on the body, no claim on the mind, this story will finish at that moment forever. Story continues only till there is I thought. Otherwise, there is no standing in the story of any story. I'm not talking about you on a personal level, but any story of any type or any issue. Do you think you are in a big trouble? Ask anyone here in this group. Everyone thinks they are in a deep shit. Excuse my words, but that's what it is. That's the ego plays, makes you feel that your life is in a deep problem and I have to sort out. And who this bloody person is saying that just pure presence, I need to sort out. He doesn't know my situation. Ask anyone. If we all start speaking, everyone's story will be as intense as yours, or maybe more intense than your story. Stories might be filled up of so much of suffering and agony. That is why there is a statement that when I was listening to others' stories, others' suffering, I forget my suffering. This is the real trap. You have opened it not for yourself, but for everyone. Because it comes with intensity, feeling, emotion. It is a full of emotions. It's a full drama, just like any Bollywood movie. Everyone's life story is so much intense. And to leave that intensity is so difficult. It's a hate and love relationship. You don't like it, but you don't want to leave it, or you can't leave it. And you think you can only leave once you have sorted out everything, and it never sorts out itself. That is what I'm saying. It can take millions of years, but it will not sort out itself. It will take up. That's why birth after birth after birth. It's like, these sequences, serials, dramas. Episode 1, 2, 3, each has 20, 30. It never ends. One thing will be sorted out, something else will come. It never ends. And look, if you accept the situation as it is, and what the body is doing, whatever it has to do, leave it to its destiny, and you observe, you will be in utmost bliss even in this situation. But no, ego sense prevails and it wants you to be in that action as a doer. Whether you stay as a doer or you stay as a presence, things will unfold in its own way. Body will do what it has to do, and situation will change the way it has to. But the problem is that you are the sufferer if you stay as a doer in that role, in that identity. And maybe if you stay in that presence and try to sort out as it has to, maybe it might sort out in the most beautiful way. Who knows? It is not the situation which is important. It is from where you are observing the situation. There is no guarantee that your standing will change the situation. Yes, but internally it will be a huge difference. From these mind attacks at 3 a.m. to a blissful life. Because the mind attacks can come only to ego sense, to nothing else. Thoughts only serve purpose at the level of ego. Beyond that, it has no power. Self stands on its own support. It doesn't need mind to operate, to live. It is eternal. It stands on its own support, on that pure intelligence. And people talk about liberation. Even single desire is a poison in that liberation. It will keep you on doership mode. And then you talk about such a high thing about liberation. We self-sabotage our own liberation. We have not one desire, we have thousands of desires, unending desires. We fulfill few desires and then another dozen desires prop up. The moment a person tries to become a seeker, as a witness, uninvolved, the mind attacks becomes multiple times. Because previously you were slave of the mind and you were doing what the mind is asking you to do. Now, mind is moving with that momentum of your previous desires and you are trying to stay still. How can your mind leave you now? You have given so much of trouble to your mind in all these years with your incessant desires and sometimes opposite desires. One time you say to mind that please give me this, and then he gives you that, then you say no, I don't like it. We have given so much of trouble to mind. Now face the consequences, face the music. That is tapas, to face that music now at least. Otherwise, go with mind. Continue doing slavery for mind. Because mind, whatever it contains, is our doing as ego. We have created it. We have created this big monster. Now you can't escape. As a witness, you have to bear all the insult from the mind now. But I assure you, if you stay as a witness, this storm will pass away. It looks big, it looks like unending, but it will go away. But you don't be accomplice to it. If you be accomplice to it and you still adding fuel to the fire by more desires, and staying in that doership, then it continues. Then at one time you think you don't want it, the other moment you are into it. We talk about silence. What is silence? You are that silence, but not as ego. And don't confuse yourself with that silence when nobody's talking or when there are less number of thoughts or when you're satisfied with life and then you feel happy. That is not silence. Silence is the one in which you are as you are. No thought reaches there. Thoughts have no clue. Mind has no clue about that pure silence. When you stay as a witness to all the unfoldment, not for a moment, putting efforts into it, but then it becomes effortless. I can understand all types of thoughts coming to a person, but so much of identification with these thoughts and feeling that your life is hell because of all these issues happened, that is complete identification with mind, not identification, talking from mind as mind. If you want to divide sadhana practice in stages, this is not even a stage. First stage is when there is this opening in which you have this intense love for that silence rather than actions happening around us. When you actually hate this doer, this individuality, then comes the real path of freedom. Then comes the real journey of a seeker. Sometimes when I'm talking to someone one-to-one in their inquiry, and I can feel where this person is at such a high level, where that person is almost gone away. There's something very faint is left. If freedom would have been so easy, like keep doing what you're doing and then saying that you're also free, then there would be not so less people that you can only count on your fingers. Because we don't want to leave even one single thing. Our attachment to all these things around us, and also things which are not there, we also want to attach to them. At freedom, even this body is at stake. You can't even claim this as yours. And understand all your story comes from this body, isn't it? And a seeker who does not even claim this as my body, For him, all the story has already dropped. Then which thought can come to him or her? No thought can come. Meditation is to just stay as what you are all the time. When we continue to be what we are, these mind attacks are inevitable. They will come because there's so much of stuff going on, and suddenly you're trying to put a break now. And then the mind can say, how can you leave me right now? These all things needs to be sorted out. Problem is, we always used mind for smallest to biggest thing in our life. We are so much dependent on it. Because we never accepted whatever was coming our way. We were jumping the queue as a doer and giving all medals to mind that I have achieved. This is all ego sense. I did it. I have made a mark in this world. We talk about total acceptance. What is total acceptance? A person in total acceptance will have no complaint. A person in total acceptance will not find fault in this body or other bodies or the situation. That absolute has planned everyone's life. He knows what is best for us. He has given a life. Maybe someone has been given more money, better health, better surroundings, and other one is disadvantaged in those situations. But how do you know you deserve better? Maybe you have been given many times more than what actually you deserve. Who decides this? We always feel that I have less, others have more in every situation. We never look down and see others who are more disadvantaged than us. This is all ego. Ego only knows one thing: me, mine, I, my situation, my family, my money, my health. And then this ego gets a bit bigger: my family, my relatives. But mine never goes. Understand that it's not like one fine day you will be free. Nature is not in a hurry. Everything is evolving and on a path of evolution. But it is slow, it might take billions of years. And if you are happy in ego sense, then why not continue your life as it is? But if you don't like it, then you have to put efforts to be that stillness, to be that stillness which is always still. You see, the whole world is in a motion. Everyone is running for something or the other. Running in front or running behind, I don't know, but everyone is running. It's a madhouse. No one is still and contented and happy and just be. Because of what? Because of just this illusion. That without my doership, nothing will happen. So everything is being planned, let's say, but that ego will not believe. Ego will say, I will do it. So one word God has created, and he has decided that things will work in this way. And then ego creates its own word. And this is the first sin. It says, I can do it. Who is God? So half of us don't even believe there's anything like God. We have killed that possibility which would have liberated us. Half of us are atheists. Then half of us are left, which has created God as a ritual. Sunday morning or a Tuesday morning or whatever morning. That's all. So God's business in our life is maybe an hour in morning or maybe once a week. And the rest of it is me, my life. Where is harmony in it? We have chosen disharmony ourselves, living a separate life than what is being given to us. And when things happens the way your ego wants, you give all credit to yourself. I have done it, I have achieved, I am hardworking. When it goes wrong, then you say, I had a bad luck. Or you curse God or fate or people around you. All credit yours and all discredit to others, including God. This is the life. This is the egoistic life. This is a life full of sin. I'm not saying this person is doing anything wrong in life. Maybe he's honest, humble, hardworking. But ego sense is the sin. When this ego sense becomes too big, then it can take a lot of wrongdoings also. Because for its own survival, it can go to any extent. People talk about kingdom of God. You can't be living as a person in kingdom of God, as your own little entity. Either you continue with your entity or you just surrender and then just accept and then see how beautiful it is. You need your inner vision to see that. And it is not based on any concept, it is not based on any religion. You go within and you will realize the truth. It is all within us. Whoever went there has found the same truth. Whether they believe in religion or not doesn't matter. What part of the world they live doesn't matter. In which century they were doesn't matter. Rich, poor, educated, uneducated doesn't matter. If you are so much involved in this story going in front, how can it is the same mind, same attention which is projecting outward in your story, which is keeping you away from what you are. The moment you have no interest in it, then your journey starts within. There is only one problem. What is real cannot be seen, and what is seen is not real. To see reality, you have to give up what you think is real. It is like something hiding from you. You will never know it till your interest in this drops away.
So, so I don't want to play this game that is posed by my partners and then do all the lawyer stuff, etc., and be pulled into that action. But then I have the other side that I'm sitting with my hand on my hand and not doing anything, and I led to the downfall and caused everything to slip away.
Look, you are talking your language. That's what. Let me stop. Let me stop you. Let me stop you here, because that is what you are saying. I will not allow everything to slip away. It shows so much of attachment to things.
It will lead to the downfall that everything will slip away. So the thought that is really bothering me is that, and the crux of it is in this is. Krishna did not tell Arjun to just sit back and he asked him to go into battle, of course, with a very strong understanding, and then to go into battle and then take it on head on, but do it as the self. So the ego is the one that can also escape and shy away from the situation, right?
It is your mind talking. You continue talking. You are teaching me now. Keep teaching me. Yes, go ahead.
No, I'm not teaching you. I mean, that is where I'm conflicted, is really to act or not to act, because I know I'm pulled into this game. To act or not to act is where I'm pulled into. And I know it is mind chatter and mind talk. And the mind is what is pulling me in both the directions.
Whatever your interest is strong will take you there. It's so easy. Accept it, whatever comes. If your ego sense is so strong, it will take you there, and you have to. You can't escape. And you're not even escaping. You are just wanting me to pat on your back and say, yes, continue fighting. Don't let anything slip. Go head to head. Take the best lawyer and fight your case. I don't even know your situation. Who is right, who is wrong? And then this ego will take big things from big books. Krishna said to Arjuna. this is all. What are you talking about? Just sit with this. Sit with this. Who am I? But if you want to go and do this, whatever is happening, then continue. Can I tell you one thing? People come to spirituality when they are in this crisis. When life is going fine, they're enjoying, they're indulging, and they're happy. And when the crisis comes, then they look into spirituality. And do you think then you can escape in that crisis? Do you know who wins the war? Country which is preparing themselves during peace. All our life we are in indulgence and we are happy, and ego has provided everything. The moment it gives us crisis or not favorable circumstances, we look towards spirituality then. But we have to sort out our mess now. Spirituality is not like a quick fix. But it is a permanent fix. It is a permanent happiness. Only thing it can promise to you is perfect bliss and peace. But whatever is slipping away, I don't know. It cannot guarantee that you will get it. I would say better to let everything slip which is giving so much of agony. We do this satsang on name of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. What was slipping away? What was he wearing? What was he eating? Where was he living? What was at stake in his life? Think our situation is going to take us at that level? If answer is yes, then it's good. Our guru lived like that. Then what is harm with me? Actually, I'll tell you, in spirituality, losers are the winners. But not the losers who lose and repenting or grieving on their loss. Losers who have no interest even in winning or losing. In both ways, they are equanimous. They have nothing at stake because they are witnessing whatever is happening. The one who abides in impersonal presence is not party to anything. Even a person in ego doesn't want to involve, life will make him involve because of all the chain of events before that. But situation will not touch anyone who abides in that pure presence. External situation has no role in it. Who has chosen self as compared to ego? But to know that you have to look within, there is no other way. For a person with simple life, open mind, it can be very quick. But for others, it might be journey of several years or maybe several births. More clutter we have collected, more difficult to declutter ourselves. It takes time. It is the empty mind devoted to self which give rise to this pure silence. Rest of the people should forget liberation if the mind is full of clutter. You have to go through that. The path you have taken to get out of it, you have to come through the same back. You have to come across all those entanglements your mind has created because of your ego sense. Have patience, perseverance, and faith in the teachings of a perfect master can help you. But whatever suffering, if that ego has to go through suffering, it has to. Nobody can stop it. You have to go through it. More you identify with it, more you will feel suffering. Less your identification, less suffering. No identification, no suffering. A true seeker's intensity in their sadhana never gets less or more depending on external situation. And a seasoned seeker comes when there is crisis. I have met hundreds of them. And when they find their lover or their businesses going up, or they have their conducive circumstances, then they disappear. Then I don't see them. And then I see them again when there is another crisis. The best time to do sadhana is when life is peaceful, everything is going the way it has to, and you sit within with feeling of gratitude and thanking that divine, that absolute, that such a beautiful life I have been given, with always with folded hands, and then go within. It will be so smooth, so easy. It will be more difficult when you're in the midst of chaos. Then I would say better to sort out those things and then start your journey in the most beautiful way. Because you can't do it. Your mind is preoccupied with all those things which your situation has created. You know, in Hindi, there is a beautiful saying, दुख में सुमिरन सब करें, सुख में करे न कोई, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे दुख काहे को होए, which means that everyone remembers God when there is crisis, when there is unhappiness. But if you remember God in your happy times, then you will never get any bad times in your life. No hurt. Whatever situation comes in our life, when it is real crisis, it looks like this is a big thing. And so many big things have come and they have left us. But at that moment, it looks like it's really big, isn't it? That's the nature of mind, and that's the ego which attaches to mind, and that makes it everything so real, so big. But everything passes. Only thing which not passes is you. You are that pure, eternal awareness. Ego looks permanent because of our belief in it. But actually, we feel bliss when this ego sense is dissolved in deep sleep, which is our real self. But sometimes I believe even crisis is a call, inner call. It is grace, because at least it is trying to take you there. This is the time when you are asking this question. Take it as a blessing. Have faith on that grace, on that absolute. It is always there and it always helps in its own mysterious way. I would say surrender your ego to that. Thank you, everyone. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay.